Other than that, if you have questions, please ask them. I will get to those as soon as I possibly can. We're going to use the piano for a little bit of context. Let's see what key we're in today. All right. If we go to the computer, we will listen to the song. No thanks. Ooh, fun, bossa nova. Can you hear me now? Sound now? And if were you in reference to what we just listened to, Saturn Moons, there was no sound from the computer mirror? If that is the case, I'm gonna have to figure out how to set that up. Let's see here. Computer, add audio capture, mic sound. That should be working. Can you hear me now? Maybe I should check my Amarat eye. Let's see here. Sorry for the delay. Gotta check to see if you have sound. There we go. Huh. Tell you what, the version that I'm looking at, Mark, has sound. How about sound? Can you hear me now? So, I'll just turn everything up. What I just looked at online looked like it had sound. I hope that you've got your sound figured out. So I'm going to keep going. Saturn Moons here, what I like to do is take that key. The key that we're looking at has two sharps. It's going to be the key of D. D has two sharps. One of them is F sharp, and then one of them is C sharp. The way I remember that is C has no sharps and no flats. When we go to G and then D, it has two. If we go the other way, F major has one flat. That flat is B flat. So when you continue this circle of fifths, you find yourself having 5 notes away produces particular primary tones. C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C are the 7 sharps. When we go the other way, F has one flat. That flat is B flat. B flat has 2. B flat, E flat. And then when you keep going, it keeps adding on. If you notice, the D flat here is the same enharmonically as a C sharp. So if we go up here to play this note, that C sharp is a D flat. So what we get are tones that have two names. Yes. Going through the process here, we see that a G flat is an F sharp and then a B is a C flat. Now, you can keep going. You can go C, D, E, F flat. Well, F flat, ipso facto, is an E. But we're not doing a lot of theory here. We're just showing that D has a relative minor. That's going to be the C flat of the B, which means your B minor is the relative minor of this key. And then when we go here and put our primary, that's our D. Now, the family chords that we see are always next to our 1. That means we're going to have the major 4 and the major 5 right here, and we will put them as such, blah, blah, blah. When we go here, we have what? You betcha, D, E, F, G. And then we have A. If we fill in the next 3, we're going to have our minors, which means E, minor second, B, we've already talked about as being the relative minor. It shares the key signature of 2 sharps with the key. And then when we go over here, we're going to have our last one for the F sharp as being our minor. Now the next one's super special. It does have a minor in there, but only as a dyad. The first 2 notes that you play that are a part of that note, D major, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, and then our C sharp. Well, yes, that is a minor third because it has the 3 minor seconds. When we do to that note, that will be our major third, but that's not part of our chord. C sharp major, C sharp minor, C sharp diminished. When we flatten that 5, we get the lending or leading tone, which is represented here. So you can see on the circle fifths, when you shift it around, if we did the key of F, we'd have B flat and C as our 4 and 5. Our G, D, and A would be our minors, and our diminished would be E diminished. Pretty cool. You would be calling them by their namesake, and we wouldn't want to talk twice. So the idea is we're not going to repeat tones. We wouldn't say F, G, A, B flat, C, D, F flat, F. That'd be silly. Okay. Getting rid of that right here. The only one that we didn't really get into is how I knew this was going to be in a major rather than a minor. I'm calling it in the key of D major. If we were to put it in the eyes of its relative minor, we would just start the B minor with the 1. We'd have a B minor as our 1. We'd have our diminished as our 2, as still being the C sharp. See where I'm going with this? Then the major third would be our D. When we keep going with this idea, we get the same structures, but they're just named differently. Minor 4, minor 5, major 6, major 7. However, what we're looking at are the same tones that are going to be derived from just seeing the 7 notes in a diatonic scale. Explaining through the eyes of C sharp, that minor third was a tertiary stacked dyad. The other dyad would have given it a minor third, meaning the diminished is the only one that has the chord construction of a minor third, minor third. All the other ones have a flippity flop of the major third and the minor third. If that didn't make sense, check out some of these music theory things in the Circle Fifths playlist. All right, the first thing I'd like to do is hear that first opening line again. Let's go over to the piano. Oh, jeez. So D major, and then we have a major 7, meaning we're going to have our C sharp in there. We could do a cluster, sounds something like this. You could spread it out to have a lower mid-range, or just right here. There are a number of things you can do for this song and for this note. I don't know. Your idea is you're thinking of a D major stacked with a minor third, or there we go, and major third. So we're looking at an F sharp minor over the top of a D major. Pretty cool. I like that. So that would be something I would play with. Now I know that the feeling of this song when we heard it was in some sort of bossa nova, like a... That's a little busy, 100 beats per minute. So what I would like to do is just fill the chords out. So how about our D major? There's 4 bars intro, and then the A section goes to an E minor. thing I notice in here, there's no 7s, there's no 9s, there's really nothing giving any flavor to this, which means it's an open canvas. A very, very open canvas for like maybe being able to try different melodies later. So the E minor is going to hold that E minor. It goes to an E flat minor. So we're going to play E flat minor. And then we've got a B minor. Feels like an awful stretch to jump over here and hit the B minor. So it might just probably do something like this, holding that structure. So, and then maybe to the G, because it's just right there, move a finger, and then back to a D. I think that feels good for the fingers. Let's watch what happens when the body just goes. F sharp minor, weird. F minor, cool. So just besides the tempo not there being there, those were fun chords, believe it or not. E minor, E flat, B minor. We could do, again, I like that feeling. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that both times, and then the B section goes into an E minor. So not to waste a whole bunch of time, but I'm just going to write it on the board so you can see how I'm going to write it without having to actually stay with the chords. The whole reason of doing our structures like this is so you can pick whether you're going to writing in a major or minor, and then you can do what I was aforementioning earlier. Our major or our minor harmonic progression that we can write out has a couple different concepts. We have our 3, and it goes to our 6 chord. Now, these are changes that feel absolutely wonderful when we're playing. When you do reviews or you do like a little analysis on some of your favorite songs, what you will find out is this is generally the way it goes, the way that you move through notes and chords. When we play the 2 chord, it generally is lined up with our 4 chord. Yeah. And then we have moving further to our 5, and then our diminished or our lending tone. Why? These two are generally interchangeable. And then we always kind of want to get back to our 1 chord. So out of just the 7 diatonic chords that are derived from this, the note that comes in betwixt the B and the C sharp would be the C. Sometimes you will have a 7 chord, a flat 7, played as a major, and that one is a great one to feel a resolution to the 1. Sometimes, wherever you are, you can just jump directly to there. There are a couple really cool things that we do that help us circumnavigate this. However, a lot of the fun happens to just trying chords and seeing how they work. Now, I've done a lot of chordal analysis on music like Moody Blues, Frank Zappa, Nirvana, and what I can find is just the best music. The songs that everybody really, really likes, those are the songs that kind of take the rules and creatively break them. So, take that for what it is. All right, we're just going to write out this Saturn Moon, see what it sounds like, see what it looks like. Got our intro right here. So rather than writing this out and putting like D major, 7, I'm going to look at the 1 chord and put it right here, put my marking, and then my 7. Boom, I'm done. The only thing I need to do right here is make sure that I put a bar and then fill out the rest of these measures. Now, what this little symbol does is it allows me to repeat this chord over and over again without having to write this. Now, 6/2, 1 dozen, but if you're writing a chord structure which has like a minor third with a minor third dominant with a sharp 11, or you're doing like these alter chords. An alter chord is when you're adding extensions like the 9, 11, and 13 past your 1, 3, 5, your triads. They get a little bit hectic to write out over and over again in charts and to read. So the idea is you kind of want to just write shorthand. And if you could write shorthand on these concepts, power to you. All right, so this doesn't end, but it goes to the next section. So I'm going to put a double bar here showing the end of this section just itself. Put an A right here, And when I put this A, I'm going to throw that A in a box. Now that A is a little big, so I'm just going to rearrange that, box it, then an A. That's showing me that now we're starting a new section. This is going to be what we would consider the form. What do we have here? A, B. So it's ternary. There's multiple things. Most music is like A, B, A, or A, B, B, A. Some version of a verse and a chorus. A lot of the music I write has central themes which take the A and the B and then go back to it. It's kind of moving towards something called sonata form, but it's not that good as in comparison to like the greats. So what is this? We have an E minor. Well, what's the E minor? We've got a minor second. Here we go. And there isn't any extension on it. We've got a flat, E flat. So we're going to take this 2 chord and we're going to put it with a flat right next to it. So we know we're not playing just the 2. We're playing a 2 flattened. It is a minor by its dictation here. There's no need to put a hyphen like jazz. That would only be working with the chords. The next one we go to is the B minor. B minor is the 6th of the chord. And if you start doing this over and over and over again, what you'll find is it's not only easier to write these out, but it's actually just easier to even think in the idea of these Roman numerals. Is that the end of the passage? No, it is not. Sorry. So going down here, we're going to continue the passage. I know that it has equal phrasing, so I'm just going to continue my bars. Boom, bada, boom, boom, boom. And then from this one, we've got our 1 chord again. We're going to play our 2 chord again. After that, we're going to be playing our 3. And then again, we're going to be playing the 3, but now it's not just an F sharp. It is a flat 3rd, which means an F minor. Very weird. Not going to lie. Not really part of this, but we're going to do a little analyzation because that's what we're doing today. Let's see if I'm crazy. This last thing right here is our first section. This is our second section, which means when we do a repeat on this measure right here, all the way up to, let's see here, the beginning. We're going to be going through this once, hence the 1. And then we're going to go all the way back here, follow it again. When we follow it, we're going to make our way down and then take the 2 part. Now, this is interesting. I wrote it. It has the same exact notes, which means this is probably subject to change. We got a 3 chord right here, and then we've got a 3 that's flattened. Not a big fan of repeating measures twice and putting 2 sections. Why wouldn't I have just done a repeat on it twice and gone through the same thing? So, long story short, I don't know why I did that, but I don't remember writing the song. So, we're going to go here to our next section. Next section is going to be our B section, so I'm going to name it as such. Now, this changes. The reason why you use double bars, or the reason why you have such defined sections, is because if you change key, which means you're going from the key of D to something other than D, or you're going from the key of, or the time signature of, what is this one in? This one's in 4/4, common time. If you don't see the time signature, it's always in common time, 4/4. That means there are 4 beats per measure and the quarter note gets the beat. When going through here, that's my pulse. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. No matter what kind of rhythm I want to put over that, I have 4 beats per measure. That means each one of these needs to know where we're at. If we change to something like 9/8 right here, I would need to know to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, here we go. We're going to be doing the B section. B section kind of feels like the other. It goes a 2 chord right here, which is our E minor. And then we're going to be sharing a measure. So here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to do my bar marking, and I'm going to put the minor 6 right here. But now these 2 share those 4 beats per measure. When we go to our next measure, these 2 beats share that. Well, we've got a 4 chord, and then we go to a 1 chord. By doing that, we're going to be repeating this thing twice. Now, I know on the sheet, it showed to do it twice, and I don't know why. Again, I wrote it out in long form. Maybe I just wanted to fill out the whole chart. Don't know. But again, I want to hear it twice, so all I really need to do is put the repeats. That is the end of that section. The next section we have, let's take up over here. I hope you got that major harmonic progression. We can write it out again if need be. When we go to our next section, it's going to be the C section. Hey, boom. Double bubble bar. We're going to be showing how we're playing a new one here. We've got our 3rd, which is going to be our F sharp. We're not sharing a measure anymore, so we're going to put a bar. Our next chord is going to be the third again, but now, as we did over, reoccurring theme, it's going to be an F sharp minor to an F minor. Again, very weird. I apologize for the silliness. Do, 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 do. E minor is our second. Chose to do this rather than rewrite it. Looks like it's not ending, so I'm going to go ahead and put these because I know it's going to be equal temperament or equal feeling. And again, this C section does the same exact thing, so frankly, there's no real reason to have to rewrite it unless I go through this and we set this up and we realize, oh, there's a whole reason why I left that way. Maybe it's because I planned on writing a melody with it. I just, after writing 3,000 songs of the same nature, different key signatures, different concepts, I kind of forget the songs that I write. Hope it's not a form of getting old. Next section, assumably, would be the D. So, only thing we need to look at here is the reason why I probably put that is for this reason. I'm going to make an annotation right here and put a 1 and then a 2. Same thing, right? Here's my repeat. But now I'm going to end this bar. And at the end of this bar, I'm going to put D, C, what is that? Second end. Now what this means is you're going to go directly to the beginning of the song and go all the way through it until you go to the second ending. Since this is our first passage, which uses 1 and 2, this would take us to the beginning, and then it would take us through the passage, and it would use the second ending, and then continue through. Pretty cool, eh? So, reoccurring themes, very, very cool. And then you're going to need to push this down just a tiny bit. There should be in any of your writing programs a tool which allows you to go down and move these notes so you get gaps and spread it out. It shouldn't compromise your full chart. It gives a little bit of lee room for extra charts. But the one I'm using right now, iReal Pro, to show these examples. Oh, hi, Rachel. The ones that we're using here to show examples, the iReal Pro is simple enough, basic enough. The reason why I like it is you can loop over and over again. Plus, the unit and the app was sold to be as like a teaching apparatus, not really for a writing thing. It's just it's so convenient, and I'm used to it by now. All right, our D section here is going to be, let's see, how do we name these? I'm going to start this all one off by putting a 3 here, which means I'm going to be doing something inevitably with this. I never really like ending a measure using that, so I'm just going to go throw these on here because it makes sense. I don't like ending it with one of these. I like ending the measures. In fact, that only works because it's the intro and it's obvious. When you're looking at a chart, sometimes that's confusing. Maybe it's just easier for some people to read the actual Roman numeral analysis there. So for our charts, we're going to be doing another D. Here's our 1 chord. Remember, we need to start off with a double bar that signifies we're starting a whole new passage. We do not share a measure. We're going to repeat this right away, and then we're going to be going, oh, it's almost like the intro there. So I'm just going to move these out. Boom, bada, boom. Since this is a reoccurring theme and it's not the end of this passage, I'm just going to leave those. Not shabby. And then I see that there are multiple measures. This is weird to me because usually if you have 3, you're going to have a 4th row right here. So we're going to see what the markings are. And sure enough, it has us go all the way to a DC fine, which means somewhere in this song is the end of the song. Let's take a little gander. Looks like it's right here. We're going to be playing into the second section right here on the D. Interesting place again to end. You know, I just listened to this for the first time in quite a while, I guess. It didn't sound too weird, but we'll check it out in a second. And then as far as the end of this passage here, we're going to complete the theme. We have a minor 2, the E minor. We're going to be taking that one more time, E minor. We're going to be playing the 1 chord again. We're going to be going and playing that 1 chord again. And then the last part in the passage has our 3 to our 3 flattened, so F sharp major to F sharp minor to a 2, and then ends on the 2. Doesn't really end though, because we're going all the way back to the beginning, the intro, and then taking the intro all the way to here. So essentially, from what I'm seeing from afar, we're going through the song, jumping back up to do reoccurring themes, going through the music to hit through a different section, which is a little bit different than the A and B, kind of the same, but not really. It's using the minors. And then the last section here reiterates the theme of the intro, reiterates the theme of just going from the 1, 2, 1, 2, walks itself down from a 3, flat 3, 2, holds the 2, resolves to the 1 here, goes all the way through, no matter what that is, and then ends on the 1 again. So, does it look like it follows form? Kinda, not really. Let's take another little gander of what this looks like through the eyes of the piano, and maybe I'll play on the ukulele, because that's what inevitably all these songs I'm doing in this series are for. I don't know, just intro could be fun. Feels kind of like a waterfall sound. E minor, B minor, G major, D major, E minor, B minor, G major, D major, F sharp minor, F minor, E minor, does that again. Then it goes all the way back up to the A section. Take the 2 section, and then we're going down to the D section. Interesting, no D major 7 there, so no reoccurring theme really. Can't help but put in an extension cord there. Back up to the A. I do want to make that a different tempo there. I've done that every time. Interesting. So, as far as the feeling of this one, I'm not a big fan of the way the melody moves out. I would probably change this to a different feeling. So, put that in 2/4, it would have that. The more extensions I put, though, the jazzier it starts to feel. Let's see what it sounds like with the ukulele. Cool, interesting. The reason why I like to write it in this form is I don't necessarily have to have the notes in front of me. If we didn't want to play a bunch of E minors on this thing, or E minor, or E minor, if you're not comfortable with that chord or whatever melody line it is doesn't make sense to play on the instrument of choice, that's where the idea of this comes into. You don't have to like redo the whole thing and have 50 million pages that just have ones in the key of G, ones in the key of A. These are all in every key at every time. If you wanted to change your whole key, you could do it up here. In fact, let's play it one time through to kind of hear what it sounds like and go from there. Our D major 7, we'd have like... We could also have this. Then it goes to the E minor. Then E flat has that E flat. Could even do it like, let's see here, E flat minor here. Here's our 4 chord, the G. Oh, I'm sorry, the 6 chord. B minor, and now our 4 chord. Back to the 1. The 2. The 3. The flat 3. Back up to the E minor. E flat minor. B minor. To the G. Resolving to the 1. Remember to take the F sharp minor to F minor here. Now we're going to play a B minor. I'm sorry, E minor, B minor, G major, D major, then a 3 chord, F sharp minor, then a flat, 3, the F minor, then an E minor. First time it holds it out, repeats that. Does it again with the E, D, C, ah to the intro. Here's our A. Here's the G. Resolution to the 1. Remember, we're going to the 2 here, then we're going to the 3 minor, and then we're going to take this second ending here, although it is the same as the first, and then we're going to go directly to the D. D. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, F. E minor. Again. Back to the 1. Here comes our F sharp minor to our F minor, and then rocking out to the E minor. Hold that twice. Go back to the intro. Take the A part. We're gonna end on the D here. Interesting enough, if I wanted to change this whole song, and that's the whole kind of purpose of this right here, if we're writing in here, well, let's say we're like not digging on that chord. Anybody still watching in the comment section want to name a key? It does not matter what that key is, because we can play in every key with one simple, awesome idea on the ukulele, which I'll show if you care. What are we thinking? Anybody out there want to pick a key? If not, I'll probably, what are we in, D? Probably pick like C, make it simple, or G, or F sharp. B, cool, that's a good one. All right, so in the key of B, we would just get rid of all of our key signatures. And when we go to B, we're going to be putting one flat on the middle line of the treble clef, and then B, C, D, E, space from the top. By seeing these two flats, we know that we're now in the key of B. Ta-da! So we have B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Oh, you said B, not B flat. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We've got an F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and then E sharp. There are 5 sharps in the key of B. The key of G has 1 sharp, that is F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. D, E, F sharp, G, A. A has 3 sharps. A, B, C sharp, D, E. E has 4 sharps. And then E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. The note right before B is its T, no! Therefore, that's how you spell B major. The way we play these on the ukulele, it looks like a B. We're going to play a B major like this, first 2 fingers down, or you can just bar the whole gosh darn thing. If we were to take our fingers and move it up a whole step and then remove our middle finger, we get a C sharp minor, then a D sharp minor by going up another whole step. Problem with this is it takes you away from your center of relativity, which is right here. So the idea is if you take a bar chord, because we all know how to play the C, we know how to play the C minor and then move it up, we get a C sharp, but we have to be able to play this one pesky note, the A flat or the G sharp. Therefore, if we bar the whole thing and then move up a minor third where our pinky resides, we need to play all 3 of them notes. The A string, E string, and the C string, and then the G string with 1 finger. I'm going to put my fingers back because it's improper to play like that. And make sure the easiest way to do this is make sure your thumb is right in the middle of the back of the neck there and pressing down firmly. A good practice is just to go up the neck like this. Here's what it looks like with the B major, C sharp minor, D sharp minor. When we go back down and put a first finger on the B flat and close this off here, we can go up to play an E major. Oh, wonderful. The next one's going to be an F sharp major, bar chord, and then play what looks like the F. We're just taking it up a half step. Another good way to get used to do that is to switch your fingerings between all of these. Move up and try B-A-R-R-E, bar chord. F major, then can go to a G minor. If you need to play that G sharp minor, you need to play that G sharp minor, you can do 2 things. You can take the G major that you know, scoot up a half step, turn it into a minor by flipping, and then move a finger down and put a pinky back. What we just did was we played a G major, which we would have played that note. The reason why you don't have to in the key of G is because that is the G note. When you move it up, you get a D sharp, and that sounds funky. It's a minor major, you don't want to do that. Ow! So, when moving up, if we did it the same way with the G major here and moved it up here, we would have the G sharp major. Well, if we're thinking of the key of F major, to make an F major and F minor, we do this little switcheroo. So hypothetically, with your finger, you would be doing that at the 3rd fret and covering these 3, which gives you your G sharp minor. Any way you want to do these fingerings, they probably would be best done for certain songs going certain places. So B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then our A sharp is nothing more than what we're going to be doing for our F sharp, but we're going to put our pinky down on the E note. Are a couple different ways to play this one out. They always sound good as diminished because they're kind of versatile. All right. So that's the key of B. If we were doing this, we would have our D sharp, our B major played as a major 7. Now this one's a fun chord. All you have to do for this is when you move this finger here, 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 and here, all the way down, we're depriving the ear of this note and moving it down. What a great chord. So already off the bat, I really enjoy this one in the key of B just for that function. It allows me now not to just have that D major 7. Felt a little hollow, a little high up top. This one has a lot more body. Oh, absolutely. So, going through the process of singing this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here comes our minor second, so our C sharp minor, and then our C minor. Already off the beginning, I really enjoy that. The next one is our relative minor, G sharp minor, and then it's going to go to our 4 chord, the E. Oh, that's fun for the fingers. And then back to our B flat major 7, and then our C sharp minor. And then we're going to be playing to our minor third, D sharp minor, going down a half step. Fun. And then we're going to be resolving back up to that minor second. So what this does is it forces our hand to play as a bar chord over the whole top of this. Again, we took that B minor 7 to a C sharp minor, and then we did a D sharp minor, D, C sharp. What a fun little move between notes. So this is what that looks like in the key of B. I could go through the whole thing, but if you're playing along, you should have fun with this. The idea behind this is if you practice this every day like we did, you will eventually come up with different ways to write your songs. When doing analyzation of your music or others' music, what you'll come up with is sometimes chords do not fit. Therefore, some adaptations might be made, and then some corrections must be made. The idea behind adding extensions on this, if we were just to go to each one of these chords and add a different note, let's say in the beginning here, let's go to the key of B. Why not? So B major 7, we would have. We can do. Then we had our C sharp minor, C minor, G sharp minor, then E major, and then R. Oh, fun. Yeah, it's very much fun in the key of B. I think I might leave it in this one and work on a melody line for it. So, adding extensions. When we went from that B major 7 to that C sharp minor, yeah, that whole feeling right here. What if we were to throw on our B again? Or if we threw a B flat into this mix over the top of that C sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp. Meaning our 7th is going to be in the key of C sharp, this dissonance. Why? That dissonance matches the dissonance we find in the key of B. Acting as either a minor 2nd or a major 7th. So I might not want to complete that theme, but if we add that B flat, that gives us like a minor major feel because we're stacking at this point minor thirds over the top. And inevitably, by doing things like what I just did, defining the chord, playing all the notes in the chromatic fashion right around them, sometimes you come up with little runs. So something maybe like I think I went back into D. I would probably keep that major seventh running through the whole thing. What does that mean? I would go back through each one of these notes on this board and determine whether or not keeping the major seventh here and making this from this chord into a minor major chord, or should we take any of these chords and change them to a 5 chord? Very, very rarely do you have an entire song that's written that is devoid of the 5th. And I think the last thing that I want to leave us on is the reason being is that harmonic major and minor progression. I know we only have a little bit of space, but we're going to have to scooch it in there. Our 3 chord generally goes to our 6. Our 6 chord generally gets split between the 2 and 4. This is just a standard way of feeling these chords out. Our next one will be our 5 dominant or our diminished. And then it likes to get back to the 1. This was just kind of the way that it was explained to me, you know? So, long story short, this is kind of how I feel about music. You can put the flat 7 over here. What we did was in this song, we used a lot of the 1 chord, which felt kind of groovy. Major 7th felt kind of nice over here. So it's not really anything against this, but when we went here, it felt a little empty because we were going from a 1 chord directly to here. Now we can, but then the progression would feel like going to a 5 or a 7. Nay, did we? We went to the 3. Therefore, it's counter to the major harmonic progression, meaning the notes and the melodies that are derived from the notes and the dyads as being tertiary, either a major third or a minor third, which is what all music is based off of, could have notes in betwixt them that lead to accidentals or melody lines. So when writing something out in sheet music or standard notation, the notes that would correlate to the triads that you are using should fit. There shouldn't be any major leaps or jumps. There shouldn't be any huge dissidences like an augmented or a diminished jump. We should move those melodies in step. And if you do move in step, we're talking about stepping through the notes of the triad, or at least staying through those accidentals. The notes that go, are not accidental, superfluous notes. I just blanked out. Anyway, going through the process of this is what I use for chord analyzation. So no matter what you're watching or what you're listening to, you could always use this process. And if you like this kind of nonsense, maybe check out the channel. Subscribe, put something cool in the comment section. As always, share this, would you? We're really hoping to get monetized this year. If we do, I'll actually buy something other than just the gear I use. We'll get a nice little interface as well. And I have an IT guy. Maybe we can start paying him more and then doing some editing. But that's really not my thing. If you dig the channel, again, thumbs up. Join us here on Tuesdays. Ask questions. Next Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we're going to just talk about the banjo. The last 2 were the ukulele and the mandolin. This next week is going to be the banjo, and the banjo is going to be talking about what's on the fretboard, how to get used to the triads again, and then a little bit of history behind where the banjo came from. Right on. Aloha.